Baba Kalyani is Chairman and Managing Director of Bharat Forge, ladies and gentlemen. And Bharat Forge is a flagship company. It plays a very important role in all key sectors, including engineering, metallurgy, manufacturing, defense. R. Mukundan is Managing Director and CEO of Tata Chemicals, and he's also the Vice President of the CII. And my first question is to Sanjiv Puri, who besides being the Chairman and Managing Director of the FMCG giant ITC, is also the President of the CII. Thank you, gentlemen. You are all the distinguished leaders of Indian business. It's a privilege to be with you. Mr. Puri, no industry and no business nowadays can happen in the absence of some link with India's geostrategic pursuit, what we want to be as a nation. And as we become a rising power, naturally, global dynamics will play a role in shaping Indian industry, guiding, and also sometimes limiting. Like we've seen the Turkey situation, where industry is pulling back on its own. So I want to just give a broad question to you to start with. How do you view the role of Indian industry to strengthen the hands of the country at a time when we are in for what will be a protracted conflict, as Rajnath Singh has indicated today?
Thank you. Thank you, Arnab, for having us on the program. Let me start first by, congratulating the Honorable Prime Minister for his very swift, decisive, and impactful action, and doing it in a way that demonstrates India as a responsible global leader. The actions are very targeted, measured. It was targeted to really eradicate or decimate the launch pads of terrorists or the terrorist training camp. Very targeted and measured. And I think they were very, very effective. Really demonstrated to the world that India has zero tolerance for terror. I think the response to provocations were also very swift and impactful. Again, very measured and targeted, so that the common man was not harmed. And I also like to commend the armed forces for the dedication, the exemplary manner in which they have executed this whole Operation Sindoor. And I think they have brilliantly handled the communication also, unlike what we saw on the other side, where people were rushing to the media even before facts were verified or misinformation was being spread. Here, they were very systematic coverage, very well verified, and enough evidence was given. And this is something that's been substantiated by, independent sources also, that India's strikes were impactful. Now, what came out also was that the indigenous defense systems in India worked very well. They were very effective. They inflicted significant damage, and this is evident from a lot of images. So I think India's defense sector, I think, has transformed over the last several years. And this is, I think, again, like to congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister, because it was his vision to make in India, to establish a very strong defense industry in India. He had the foresight that this is important for equally important for India's progress, and we have come a long way. I think this is a time when certainly the journey, of course, needs to continue, and we must all rededicate ourselves to building this industry as an even more formidable strength. So that's one clear area where industry can contribute. Secondly, is I think what is important is that, of course, all members of CII and CII recognizes that national priorities come first, national security comes first, everything else is second to it, and we are completely aligned to it. And to support that, I think what we require is a very resilient economy. We require an economy that can, not only grow very at an accelerated pace, an economy that is inclusive, but also an economy that is resilient. And that's been very clearly demonstrated even in the conflict that happened recently. Not much, there's hardly any impact on the industry, barring some disturbances that happened during the specific events that unfolded on 3 days. But otherwise, everything was absolutely I mean, industry was absolutely operational as they were on any other day. So that's the kind of industry we need to build. We need to build supply chains that are more and more resilient, that are more and more make in India, that have lesser interdependencies, particularly from countries that work against India's national interest. And more we make in India, I think our supply chains will become more and more resilient. And equally, with the strength of our own competitiveness, I think India has the potential to become an economic power. It's already the fifth largest economy, nearly going to be or very close to the fourth, and will be the fourth very soon. And it's a consumption-driven economy. Exports is about 12% of our GDP. But I think here is an opportunity, given the strengths of India, given the policy reforms that have happened over several years, that India can emerge as a very strong player, as a global hub for manufacturing. It's already starting to do it in certain sectors. Defense is one remarkable example. From hardly anything, we're talking about 24,000 crores in the last year, and electronics is another interesting sector. But there are many more areas that we can do it, and we have the capacity to do it. On services, we are already a global hub of not only basic services but value-added design services, and it's continuing to accelerate. So India can really emerge as a global powerhouse of services and manufacturing, leverage its capacity to produce at scale, to produce economically, leverage its demographic dividend, leverage the STEM talent we have.
Yes.
I think these are the other areas that industry can play an important role in building the resilience of the economy.
I'm happy to see the kind of involvement that you have in the national effort here. I also commend CII for committing itself to the national cause. We've seen people from defense, diplomacy, politics speak on Republic last few weeks, but a lot of people are noting this and watching this, Sanjiv, and saying this is good. Industry is putting its money where its mouth is. Now,